And we're coming at you live here at the Army of Youth, where you've got options. What are our options today?
Our options today is we're looking at the Team Leader Bootcamp, and we're trying to figure out, we just prayed, and we're going to be discussing about creating this curriculum. Right now we've got a sloppy list with a bunch of information, so we're trying to figure out what are our next steps of what we need to do.
Is that a bunch of information?
No, the bunch of information is on Notion on September monthly challenge, Team Leader Bootcamp. If you want to pull it up, it'll help to do this. Yeah, Carmen and I are going to be having a conversation, and Tina will be here too.
September what?
Just type in Team Leader Bootcamp, it'll pop up. It's on the project board. And I'm asking for help. So, here's the dilemma that I have, my friends. What I want to do is right now, we have this Team Leader Bootcamp. I want to close all this stuff.
Okay.
Kathy, can we keep this door closed? We're recording. Thank you. Okay, what I want to do is I want to look. So right now we have the sloppy list. We got a bunch of information. I kind of brain dumped all the potential possibilities that could help someone. I was asking the question, what concepts, what tools can we give a new team leader who's never led a team before that can make the greatest impact on their life and help them to be able to actually form a team and a team that works. And in going through, I was going through what is everything that I've learned, studied, concepts that I've experienced that have helped me to get to a point to be able to work with teams that work. And I put that all on a list. And the list got pretty big. But I want to kind of define, I think one of the best things that we could do at the beginning is to begin with the end in mind, right? Define the clear outcomes. See, which is what we're doing right now. We're defining what's the purpose of this conversation. But I think what we should do, I'm trying to figure out, there's a lot of different like routes. Like right now I see this, like here's a sloppy list, and we can go this direction, we can go that direction, that direction. We can figure out the worksheets we got to do. We can figure out the order we got to do. We can put them in order. We can figure out the outcomes for the course. There's a lot of possibilities right now. Right?
Yeah.
But I suppose, what is the one thing we can do now with this sloppy list that such if I do will make everything else easier and necessary? I think defining very clear outcomes for the course would be good. Team Leader Bootcamp.
Yeah.
What's the purpose? The problem we're solving?
The why.
The why. What do we want the person to walk away with who go through this Team Leader Bootcamp? And a big question that I have is like, right now we have like a 1.0. I don't know how to describe this, but basically how much detail do we want to go into? Like, is it high level, low level, detailed, specific? It's kind of like, I don't know, for like lack of better phrase. Right now we got a 1.0. It's like, should our next step, should we be trying to think right now in this creation, are we creating like just a slight improvement, or are we doing it like a overhaul?
Yeah.
We're gonna make it so much better. It's like, how much detail do we do? Because in all honesty, I mean, should we do high level, low level? Like how, high level is just a general overview. Low level is like very detailed, like some tactics, like these are exactly the little steps you gotta do. And like you can go, and you know how there's frameworks within a framework, we can go into like system management is part of managing properly. We can go through a whole course on creating systems for the organization. And there's like project management. It seems like that's a whole nother training that could be covered in like a 5-minute video or like 3 20-minute videos. Or it could be an entire course of itself just on project management. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So based on the outcomes that we want to see from this team leader boot camp, I guess we'll determine whether this is going to be
There might be some places
like how much detail do we go on project management, skimming the surface, like repeat and large, and identifying who our audience is. They're new team leaders.
Yeah.
Don't know how, so I don't. I have to do those, or
What would you recommend?
how to do those things. I hope you understand what I mean. And
That's a good question.
you know,
I
Frances,
would.
yeah, she's still in our group. I guess she's still like starting.
I would not want to go too deep on too many things, especially starting out.
Sometimes. So I'll have to talk to her about that. I saw
This is
her,
for
so
new
I was
team
like, oh, I
leaders?
guess you're doing them too. So yeah.
I would just give them the very essentials. But
Are those steps?
No, this is a mountain.
Okay.
so we give them the bare essentials, or not the bare essentials, but like
The basics,
the
fundamentals.
Yeah, the basics, the fundamentals, and then maybe kind of let them know
Those are
that-
steps.
that, hey, this is something like if you want to develop this skill and master it, this is something you can go deeper on at another time in the future.
And the next question is, relating to that, is something to master and go deeper on. It's like, should we leverage and outsource and encourage other people? Like when it comes to systems,
Yeah.
should we just encourage
Or-
someone to read the book Systemology? Or should we
Yeah,
in the future
That's the other thing.
do our version of it, remix ours?
Yeah. So that's the other thing. You like the person going through the team leader training doesn't necessarily have to be the one doing all those different things like project management and systems and things like that. That's true. I think I would encourage leverage.
Like we would leverage the courses that we would share with people, and we just give them an overview. I'll say backing up a little bit with defining our why. Like, why are we doing this team leader boot camp?
Why?
I see the reason why we're putting this together is to train our team leaders how they can develop their teams with a quote card team, the slide design team, the funnel team, so that they can do it. But in a dish, that's kind of the primary reason, but the secondary reason is to provide a resource for other ministries to be able to do something similar. So in order to do that, we have to be really intentional in the manner that it's shared, so that it's not just specific to the way we do things here. And I find that there's a balance, because if you're too general with your principles to apply to so many, it could be hard and intangible to apply to what we're doing. But if you're too specific and detailed with the examples you give, then it's really hard for a broader area of people to be like, oh, I see how that fits in my context. Because they're not doing that automatically. They're not remixing. So maybe a way that we can do this is we can give general principles and give specific examples with our teams. And those examples would probably help
Yeah, I think so.
reach both audiences. Whoa, we can number these? Oh, I wouldn't know how to do that. Never mind. Down below there's a section that says who's our audience. Okay, so the outcomes. What do you see as the outcomes? Oh, where is a person now, and what is the clear outcome and the success that we want to help people to get to?
Can I just ask where we are in Notion now?
Yes, it's a great question.
I can. September monthly challenge. Put in Team Leader Bootcamp. You'll find it.
Were you asking what page, or were you asking where on the page?
What page?
Oh, okay, yeah. Just type in Team Leader Bootcamp.
Okay.
And if you scroll down to who is our audience, it's towards the bottom. Yeah, there you go. And then how would we define a team for this course?
Woo!
What?
I like that first one.
Who's our family unit? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want people to be able to apply these things to the family unit.
Yeah, because I was making that connection. Like, hey, hold up. By learning how to build a team, I'm learning how to build a family.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I would love in our example to like use an example to make that connection. And when we're talking to people, be like, if you have a family unit, if you have a non-profit organization, a for-profit company, a church group, a startup entrepreneurial endeavor, you have a team, a squad, a small group, something like that.
Yeah.
And being intentional about using like, how does this principle, every time that we teach a framework, it's like, how does this framework fit in a family environment? How does a framework fit in a church group environment, or things like that? We'll see how this goes. So this is what we see, and then at the bottom it says, here are the problems. The bottom of this, how will we define a team? People who are overwhelmed with many responsibilities and perplexities and don't know how to handle all the things that they are doing or responsible for. Usually people who have much skill and ability but lack the development of leadership skills, or entrepreneurial leaders in the organization. So basically turning technicians to managers. That's the goal. And part of the reason why we're doing it is because we have a bottleneck of technicians. Way too many technicians, not enough managers. So how can we develop more managers? Craig Rochelle says, like, how do we attract leaders? You don't attract leaders, you develop them. And how do we keep leaders? You let them lead. I was like, whoa, that's really interesting. So let's develop some managers. So that's interesting. Let's create another toggle under here.
Another book?
Yeah, toggle. And let's call it something like, what are the results that will be produced from this boot camp training? What do you see are the type of results that we're trying to get? What are the problem, like,
what are the problems that are being solved?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's reading something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
She's solving different problems.
What problems are we solving? Having too many technicians.
Solving the bottleneck.
Yeah.
Yes. Think about our ministry. What are the skills that people need to understand?
Communication, leadership. It's just everything.
It can't be everything. It has to be step by step. It has to be specific. And you're right.
Interaction with people, like how to be a leader. How to. I know that we've done a lot of things about leadership.
Yes. Think about like the funnel team, the slide design team.
Like what are we lacking?
Sure, what do you like? What is like, if we begin with the end in mind, what would the end look like? What would the funnel team look like when it's fully functional, fully doing what they're doing? It's like, what is that? Like the dream team for the slides, the dream team for the funnel team. Like, what do we want it to be?
wanted to be independent.
Yeah. There's like.
I mean, there's always interdependency in an organization, but like as far as
like in skills and competency.
Yeah, and everyone has a
initiation
specific part that they do. Like even in slide design, like
so
you can have people
roles that are clearly defined.
Yeah, you can have people that are like just do the full verse slides, and like I put the placeholder slides, and there's like people that find the pictures. There's people that like do everything like that.
So
it's just like
people are taking initiative and ownership of the roles that they have. People are fitting into the perfect calling. Everybody's working in their gifts.
Yeah. And it's a collaboration, so you can it's a collaboration of everyone's gift, and like workathons, like working together.
Okay,
people.
so
like
the team
so
is
like coming together.
Yeah, working together, coming together. So it's kind of like creating community in
Yeah.
a sense.
So it's not like we're all just working on our own.
Yeah.
Because that's really one thing that the Army of Youth is all about, like finding friends or like
friends.
other Christian influences in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. And I think that's something that our team is lacking and we don't really understand is how to work together like these workathons. Like we get glimpses, we have some theories, and we've had very like glimpses in our experimental knowledge. But yes, like so working together, coming together, creating community, yes, a commonality towards a common goal.
So I can walk while I listen to y'all.
Yeah, for sure. So
Feel weird.
yeah, that's why Kathy puts the box up, I guess. I know, I feel weird. I'm like looking at her. Sometimes I play around with Kathy and I see her like looking over here and I just walk over here and I'm just like and she's just trying to follow me and I'm just doing this and this. So think of the problems that we're facing in ministry. What, if you understood, could drastically help? Here's another question I have. Oh, go ahead. Were you going to say that? Go for it.
I was just gonna say we got people idle. So
Idle.
No idle people on the team. Everyone. Yeah, it's kind of like goes back to like specific part. Go ahead.
No, go for it. I'm waiting. Like I'm at the edge of my seat. I'm so excited.
Oh no, that's why I'm like I don't
No,
even
I'm
know what to
anticipating
say
what you're saying. Like I'm looking forward to what you have to share.
I was just saying it kind of goes along with. Okay, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. You just continue.
Well,
It'll
you
come
have
back.
the YouTube team.
YouTube team.
Oh, YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, maximizing resources.
Yeah.
We want to teach people to maximize resources. This was something that was an epiphany that I had, is rather than just me focusing on maximizing resources, what if we taught the leaders what really makes a difference between a technician and a manager or the leader is like, the leaders maximize resources.
Yeah. And also, like, people, like, I mean, I know we can teach them how to do the basics, stuff like that, but people who, like, they learn on their own how to, like, if there's, like, another way, they give suggestions or, like, a better way, you know what I mean? Like,
You're saying, like,
room for
fostering
improvement.
feedback? Or, like, making things better, improving?
Yeah,
Like,
improving
making
and,
continual growth and
yeah.
development?
We don't get stuck in, like, you know, this is the way we do it. This is, like, the only, like, there's room for improvement, like, once we see how something, like, grows and we need something more.
So you're saying that that's part of
Team? Building a team?
yes.
Yeah.
No. The problem that we're solving. What is the problem that we're solving? How can you phrase what you just said in light of a problem?
If people just think that, like, this is the thing that I have to do, and they're like, you know, they get so stuck in the technical, like, just doing the thing, yeah, implementation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just that. So, the problem of, like, just, like, technicians
Yeah.
It's we
There's a
grow
limit.
and we improve and we teach others. That's one thing, like teaching others.
So the problem is stagnation
Yeah.
and narrow-minded and just like limitations.
Yeah.
And the solution that we're promising or bringing about is growth, unlimited development, and progress. That's what you're saying? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, I think that made sense. It made sense to you, Cameron?
What was the problem again?
Stagnation, limitations.
Oh yeah.
Basically the opposite of growth. So far, what you guys have shared with me is the 6 basic human needs. You've shared community, you've shared growth, you've shared contribution,
Well, it always
significance.
goes back to it.
Should we teach that in this course, training,
Oh.
in light of leading a team?
Yeah, I think so. It'd be nice.
Hey, you know what else we're doing?
What else are we doing?
We're helping more people to bring more value. To be more valuable.
You're right, we are.
That's significant there, you know.
It is significant. Adding value is significance.
I'll be back.
Becoming valuable is becoming significant. He done took off. He's gone. He gone. Alright, well,
So are you getting more clarity?
yes, I am. Are you getting more clarity?
I think so. Yeah, I'm getting a lot more clarity actually.
That's good. And I figure if we clearly define the goal of where we're going, what we're accomplishing with this training, then we can work it backwards on the steps to get there.
Is it okay if I move this thing?
Yeah. By all means.
There you go.
You don't want me hiding behind the screen?
No, it just feels weird. It's like I'm in my own little.
You are in your own little box, your own little corner. Okay, so basically where they are is they're overwhelmed. And it frees up the leader. One thing that we're really big at the Army of Youth is helping people identify their unique talents and dedicate to them Lord's service, developing that. So basically gives others opportunities to use their talents for Christ.
Yeah.
Create more opportunities. That's really one of the ultimate goals that we want in ministry. There's 2 reasons to build a team. What?
How about like finding the specific place, kind of like finding their unique gift in that team, like
Yes. So discerning gifts or discerning
Yeah.
talents.
So it's like they don't feel like they're just stuck like with this one thing and like they don't really enjoy it, but it's like the specific thing that they enjoy the most and they find most fulfillment in.
Okay, so we can do a training teaching people how to discern the gifts and talents of the people they lead.
Yeah, it's kind of like the taste and see, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah, that is extremely essential for developing a successful team, is being able to move people and
Yeah.
okay, that's good. I like that. And I do believe that that is essential for success. And that's part of recruiting too. When you're talking to people at like camp meetings and events and you discern their talents, you're like, whoa. Like Denzel, when I was talking to him, it's like, what is your talent? What do you like doing? Like, I like teaching and I like words, I like communicating. And I was like, really? So you'd probably like publishing. And I told him a little bit about frameworks and he was like at the edge of his seat and he wasn't even sitting. He was just like, whoa, I want to know more. Yeah, please share with me. Modern publishing, share with me the slides and the video. I'm like, what do you like best, written or video? Or he's like, I like words, I like reading. And I was like, okay, send you slides. He's like, oh, it has a video? I'll take the video too. I was like, okay. So pray for him. He's gonna be watching that right now. I already sent it to him yesterday.
What?
Modern publishing, the slides that we were going
Oh,
over. Life changing. But my point of saying that is, he's not gonna be there forever. There's a good chance that he could come here too. And
who's Denzel?
he's a black brother.
With the glasses?
No, with the
Oh.
the roommate.
I've asked like
4 times, 3 times. Who's
Yeah.
Denzel? Yeah, that's okay. So that's one of the things, discerning the talents. So basically the result is, it's like a dream team. I really want to help teach people how to not just start a team, but form a dream team. And it's a dream when everyone's operating in their zone of genius, what they love doing. Oh, and another outcome that we want to accomplish with this whole course in general as a ministry is our view of looking at teams is the more teams we create, the more opportunity people have to use their talents for service. So we want every young person to have an opportunity to serve. And the purpose of creating a team is not just for us to lead it, but some teams we want to work ourselves out of a job. Because as pioneers, we may be willing to start something because it needs to be done, but that's not what we always want to be doing.
Yeah.
But we can't always do what's pleasing to us. We have to do things that need to be done. And as we form a team, we can find someone to replace us. And in order to do that, in order to reach to the scale and the ability that we really want to, we're going to have a system for forming teams, developing teams, and then binding off teams and finding replacement for team leaders so that we can pioneer and start a different team and get that functional and then kind of move on like that until we find the area that we love, and we'll form a team as an extension from us, not to work independent from us. Those are the 2 types of teams. And maybe we should clarify that too. Some people are afraid to build a team because they feel like they're going to be replaced. Or people are afraid to build a team because they feel like
I'll be stuck in this.
I'll be stuck doing this forever.
I know, that's...
We've all been there. So, in order to teach a course, we have to handle the objections of people. The objections people go through. During the Ask campaign, this is what's his face says? Russell Brunson, he talks about an Ask campaign, and the purpose of this is you go out and you get 100 people and you ask them one question. What is your number one biggest challenge in forming a team? And based on what 100 people say, they all share with you what their concerns are. And then on their concerns, you find groups, categories that are consistent. And if everybody says I don't know where to find people, or I don't know how other people can do what I've done, whatever the case is, or it's going to take more time to do that, then those become lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4 in your course.
Just going over objections.
Yeah.
Kind of myth busting.
It's myth busting because what it's doing is replacing limiting beliefs with liberating beliefs.
Yeah.
And when they have liberating beliefs, all their decisions and actions change. That's what the whole course is, and it's step by step. This is a limiting belief that you have right now, and in order to get to the next step, you have to bust this myth. And then every step of the way. So really, the purpose of this Team Leader Bootcamp is not to create a finished product, but it's to create an iteration.
Yeah, because I know what iteration means.
You know what it means now?
No. Why are you all looking at me oh, the 1.1, 1.2? Yeah, now I remember.
That's good. I didn't even have to say anything.
Just point.
Yeah, iteration just means it's a version. Version 1, version 2, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, or 1.0, 2.0. Yeah. So really decision making is progressive. Decision making is iterative. There are iterations of what we're doing. It's pretty exciting.
Makes sense.
When you look at the development of it's despise not the day of small things or humble beginnings. It is Luke 16:10, he that's faithful in that which is least will be faithful also in much. Rather than trying to like start off all perfect and launch it all big, we're just like, no, let's start small and then let's improve as we go. Where we focus on growth. Alright, so now that we have a little bit more clarity as far as those are the results that want to be produced from this bootcamp. You know what I think, you know what I believe what team leaders really want?
What?
I think burnout is something we need to avoid. That needs to be something we talk about, is what causes burnout. But I think what the team leaders really want, the people going through this, is they want to do more of what they love and less of what drains them. And a team will allow them to do that, to do more of what they love and less of what drains them. Yeah. I think that could be like a strong, like a selling point, because we sell them what they want, give them what they need, and people feel burnt out, overwhelmed, and stressed. And the only time they would feel burnt out and overwhelmed is if they're doing things and it's not what they love, it's not their passion, it's not what really fulfills them. So the purpose of this is to create positions so that everybody can do only those things that they just so greatly, it's like the reason why they were born. It's like their calling in life. Or at least they feel like this is part of the process of tasting and seeing and identifying their calling in life. And that's what the ministry is all about. So this course seems to be very much in harmony with why we're here.
Why we're doing what we do.
Yeah, why we do what we do. So it's another tool that we'll be able to create. I think it's cool because it's an asset we'll be able to use for years beyond. Alright, so now that we have identified the clear outcomes, another question that I have, moving on, is the 1.0, this 7 steps of building a team. My question is, are those 7 steps still the same 7 steps that we want to teach today?
I would have to see the 7 steps.
Can you pull them up?
Where?
Hold
The
up.
boot camp?
Yeah. We can go to the Netflix website and go to the boot camp.
Netflix.
Messenger. The boot camp.
Can we get the boot?
Boots. Yeah, the boot camp. You know. Let me see if I can find it.
Holy Sabbath day of rest, of creation with the best. Yeah, you changed the name. That's what switched it up. I just updated my thingamajig.
Thingamajig?
Yep.
Thingamajig.
Thingamajig. Uberhan.
Identify the ultimate results.
I just found it.
Find someone who has the results that you want. Like backwards.
Wow, it's all
I
dark. It's hard
remember.
to read. Oh, you got that video on there. How cool.
I guess
What video?
The welcome to the team, the one that we just recorded.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad that's there. What do you remember?
the reason why. I guess it wasn't so relevant to me back then.
It was just in case.
Yeah.
You didn't have the
Right.
beliefs that allowed you to see yourself as a team leader?
No. I was just doing some things and I was sick. So I didn't remember. But
Oh! That's something I think we could do better.
What?
Helping with the beliefs. You kind of addressed it,
You're right.
but I think we could do it better.
We need that, really address the beliefs. What were you saying, Tina?
Before I so rudely interrupted.
You guys are so funny. You guys say that line, like in times where like I would never say it, but I'm thinking it in my mind as you guys say it. It's just the phrase that like goes through my mind. I usually just share it with people that I'm have like a lot of rapport and like with people.
Well,
But like if Cameron wanted to say something, I would never tell him before you rudely interrupted, because I would be like, it's fine if you say it about yourself, but you're just like not likely to speak up, so I didn't want to discourage you.
yeah.
Anyways, what were you saying?
This is now just in time information.
Praise the Lord! Just in time. So that was another thing I always wondered about. There's some like mindset stuff. Well, I guess like you were saying, the beliefs.
So maybe like the first thing that you need to do is like make them know that you need to create a team, or like
like leverage. Understand the principles of leverage.
Have you ever been overwhelmed?
Yeah.
Are you overwhelmed?
Are you overwhelmed? You got a lot of responsibilities. You feel like you have more things to do on your to-do list than you have time to do it. So yes, it's me. If you said yes to any of these things.
Maybe you were more relevant to a lot of people.
I think so. It's like I really enjoyed practicing on Kathy yesterday, because I was like, so...
Just overcoming objections?
Yeah, just overcoming objections. It's misinformation. She's like, I don't want to join the Team Leader Bootcamp because if I say yes to that, it means I'm saying no to something else. I already got a lot of responsibilities. I was like, but you don't understand. Your objection identifies to me that means you need this, but she doesn't see it. But that's okay, that's another thing for another time. Yeah, you're right, Conrad. I didn't really address that so much there. Started with the why. Well, I mean, I started with the end in mind, like to dream and vision what you wanted to do, but that's more of an action step.
Yeah.
Maybe dealing with the mindset of why they need to build a team would be a lot better. It makes perfect sense. So, like some of the tools that help me to understand why I need a team is understanding leverage and understanding, the overwhelm. And in my mind, overwhelm and responsibility is synonymous with the 3 lists of freedom exercise. Because in my experience, the one thing that has been the most life-changing and like liberating to me was the 3 lists of freedom. I truly felt a sense of freedom there.
Is that list part of this training?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Currently?
No.
Oh.
That'd be great. But that's why we're doing 2.0. Whoa! Because it's going to be able to serve them. There's not really any assignment. Well, yeah, actually it is. It is kind of like that. I didn't call it the 3 lists of freedom, but it is part of this training. That's how you identify the roles that you need on your team. It's there. So the 7 steps. I thought I had them on here. I was what are the phases? No, I was looking on here for the 7 steps.
I forgot to.
The
fix
best
those
team
titles.
leaders find the best thing to do.
So I'm on this. So I'm at the top of the Team Leader Bootcamp Sloppy list on Notion, and it says if I were to start again, what would be my steps? I think the 7 steps of developing a team. 1.0. Wow. Is it just me or is it like super hot in here?
Yeah,
It's
I
hard.
thought so too. But I thought it was because I was walking.
Oh, it's hot. Whew. Man. Am I grateful for AC? We had to survive one summer in California without AC.
Mercy.
We don't have AC.
Yeah, but you're in
You need
Canada.
AC?
I'm Sometimes.
Sometimes. Oh, that feels so nice. Right there. Oh.
Was it one summer? Maybe it was 2 summers. Whatever.
Actually, I'm gonna put this right here.
How do I delete this thing?
All right.
This one.
The 7 steps. Can someone tell me what the 7 steps are while I write them on Notion?
Yes. Step 1, identify the ultimate result.
Ultimate.
Identify the ultimate results. Number 2.
Find someone who has the result that you want.
You know you can do that through a course.
Yeah.
So that's about, in reality what we're doing this.
Yeah.
Work backward. Oh, sorry.
Work forwards.
Step 4.
No, step 3.
Step 3.
Work backward to identify what tasks need to be done.
Step 5.
Step 4. Identify similar tasks and group them together.
Step 6.
Step 5. Give each group a task and name. Step 6 says add your name to every position until you develop systems. Step 7, find people who are passionate about your role to build.
So, alright. So those are the 7 steps in the 1.0. Are those really the 7 steps that we want to do today?
Pretty good steps.
Yeah, I think they're really good steps.
As far as
I am just kind of wondering, like, find someone who has the results that you want. And the working backwards. I'm not exactly sure how I would do that.
Well, that's why we have the worksheet. The working backwards is the goal setting worksheet. You're just going through a series of questions.
I know, but yeah.
Yep.
I understand.
Have you gone through the goal setting worksheet?
I think so.
I don't think you have. I don't know if you ever have. Are you referring to when we've done it in class? We've never gone through it in class. We got through the seven questions, which is just the first portion. Which that goal setting could be a whole course of its own, but that's like the goal setting needs to be really condensed too, like a smaller version of it. But basically, what I'm saying, as far as the worksheet goes for this, like work backwards, it's all in the goal setting thing, but we don't have to use the whole thing for the goal setting. What do you think about Cameron?
I was thinking we got a spot for the goal setting here on the thing.
Where?
Biblical goal setting.
Oh, we do. I know, that's because I want to do. Well, we have one course. I mean, one sermon.
Yeah.
That's like a 1.0. But I do want to do a course that goes into more detail on it.
Okay.
Because that's a fundamental skill for people to do. But you know what we could do in this phase? On that step of working backwards, we can tell people if you want to do a deep dive and understand more of these principles, we can just whet their appetite enough to just kind of high level get them by on this course, Team Leader Bootcamp. If you want to go deep dive, take a course on biblical goal setting.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Really fun.
Up cells and down cells and side cells.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I really see we need to create an ecosystem of knowledge, of learning, of lifestyle, of life decisions, of like biblical frameworks, that it's an ecosystem, like Apple.
Like an economy.
An economy. It is. It's an economy. Apple, when you buy an iPhone, it's like the logical upsell, the next decision is iPad. When you have an iPad, the next logical decision is a MacBook.
MacBook.
Yeah, got those MacBook, and then you got the Apple. Then they connect, and it's hard to use an iPhone with that. They're like not so compatible. So then if you want a desktop, you got to get a Macintosh. And then you have the whole whacked out economy of the Apple. But I think we should create that here. Like, I realize the most thriving communities, they have a ecosystem of watchwords and community and concepts and understanding. And the more that people ascend, the more like in depth they get with the community. And it's all by design. These companies do it by design. But you know what's really powerful? There's 6 steps to building community. I personally really think that an exercise like that could be extremely helpful for team leaders to know how to lead their team better. But my question for you two is, if I did a training on how you can integrate these 6 steps of building community, do you think it would be going into too much detail for the Team Leader Bootcamp?
I think it would.
Okay, can you repeat your question?
Can you repeat my question?
Okay, so if he was talking about like the six ways.
Yeah, 6 ways.
6 ways
To build community.
to build community, and like putting that into the Team Leader Bootcamp. And his question was basically,
Is it too much?
yeah, is that like too much of a deep dive for our audience?
Probably. It depends on what is the length that you want, because you can make like an intense course that's like...
You're right. I can share in 3 minutes, 30 minutes, or 3 hours. Exactly. But I would think that it's like 15 to 25 minutes.
What do you mean, the whole course?
No, just the 6 steps of building a community. The 6 steps is basically, I don't remember all of them, but it was like watchwords. It's like an origin story.
Oh, yeah, that's important because it creates community.
Isn't that powerful? It creates community.
Like within the team.
Within the
like,
team.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. Like, here's a pitch or a reason why it may be good, and we can consider why it wouldn't be good. Why are you hiding? You can't hide under your binder.
Hey, you know what?
Go ahead.
We could have training on all these different things and give this to people who are like new team leaders, and that is our audience. And this whole course could just be upselling other courses.
I thought about that too. I think something like this would be like a lead magnet for other organizations.
Yeah, the lead magnet, yeah.
I was thinking about that because that's like what One Funnel Away Challenge does. It's like a low ticket offer, even if it was a $20 course. A low ticket offer, and in there, in the One Funnel Away Challenge, he's selling ClickFunnels. Like the day 2, he's like, watch this 90-minute webinar where it says, hey, he made $3 million in 90 minutes. And then it's like, you watch that, you're like, whoa, ClickFunnels, like, I'm sold. And then he's like, next one, watch Lady Boss's version of the same thing. And he talks about some of his other stuff that he has. In that course, that challenge, I was like, that's deep.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking with the 6 principles of community.
Yes.
The more of us, I believe, the more of us who understand these 6 principles, like as leaders, and are intentional about guarding the culture, these 6 principles create culture. And if the more of us are able to instill this on a team level, like the basic unit of the Army of Youth, then really our success as an organization, one of the things that will help us as we grow bigger is maintaining that core fundamental building blocks of these smaller teams. And team leaders know what are the watchwords of the Army of Youth, what is the origin story of the Army of Youth, what is the there's like habits that we do a little differently. There is core beliefs, core values that we have in common, and there's a common enemy that we have, that we're at war against living an aimless life. I believe that if team leaders in the Army of Youth understand these concepts, are intentional within their team of creating that culture, and we use our ministry as an example for other organizations to see how they can identify what would be good for their organization. Like if they're a part of the Army of Youth, there's some variation that they could do. Because like the funnel team has specific watchwords that only the funnel team has. And the slide design team has specific watchwords only slide design has. Like template-based slides and GIF slides and full verse slides and stuff like that. So us being aware on a team level, what are the watchwords unique to our team? I think they could be helpful. And it could be too much, depending on how in detail it gets. But you know, families have these 6 basic principles too. They could be healthy or they could be unhealthy. They could create community, or the lack thereof could push the children out of the home and into seeking for this the basic human needs outside of the family. And if families don't get these 6 basic these 6 principles of building community, then you're going to suffer.
Yes.
One thing that's kind of cool, because you know the 6 basic human needs, how like one of them is love.
Yes.
And then that's like you have the 5 love languages, and the other one is like community, and then you have like the 6 principles of community. One is like significance. You might have like 5 ways to like add value. There's like frameworks within each framework. You can go like high and low level on each one of them. It's just like, I think it's so cool how like within one discipline of knowledge or one channel of thought, there could be like a whole other branches of knowledge. Just like, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a mind map that just. Oh, no,
yes.
Under significance, you have the 4 levels of value. So it's like there's frameworks within the frameworks. Anyways. Are you guys in the same place as I am on Notion? Or actually, where are you taking notes? You were typing.
Bottom.
So let's go to the top real quick.
Top.
Yeah, the very top, where it says Team Leader Bootcamp 2.0.
Yeah.
Right underneath the feedback. And it says the 7 steps of developing a team 1.0.
Yeah.
That's what we have. And then the second one is, if I were to start again, what would be my steps? These are not in order.
So you want to put them in order?
I want to get your feedback. And this one right here. And then the second one. I want to get your feedback on this. So the first one, like you guys were saying, is limiting beliefs, showing why you need to leverage. And the second is to develop a dream. That's basically identify the ultimate results. And the third is like, this is how you overcome overwhelm, is a 3 lists of freedom. That is the tool to identify the responsibilities. And there's a dreaming process too, because one of the questions is like, what would you do if you could, like if you had help, or if you didn't have to do it, what would you want? Like what would be necessary to keep the ministry going and flourishing if that could be done? And you start writing things down, and your mind starts to dream of the possibilities of a team.
Visionary.
Yeah, so you're basically selling yourself on the idea of having a team, a dream team dream.
Team on dream on.
And then once you have that list, Step 4 was identify similar tasks and group them together. That's how you identify the roles. It all comes from the list of your tasks. And then the difference between delegating roles versus delegating tasks. One's micromanaging and one is liberating, empowering. And then then once you have roles identified in the ministry, it's easier to create job descriptions. But from there, you have your org chart. I think it's good for teams to have org charts.
Tomorrow and today.
Yeah, that tomorrow and today's was really helpful, because the tomorrow seems like it was so big it was almost unusable in the now. But when James Freefield was like, we need today's org chart, then I was like, oh, now I just have a snapshot of everyone and what they're doing. That seems a lot more easier to handle. And then the step was to set, step 7 is to set clear expectations, which is basically a job description, which that kind of, like once we identify all the tasks to do, it's easier to make that. And I'm thinking, like, if our team leaders created the job descriptions, how much easier would that be? They know what jobs need to be done more so, and they might be able to update them as things shift or change. So I don't know. I mean, as far as organizations go, I think usually human resources does that. I don't know the balance between team leaders doing it or HR people, or if the team leader like could create a rough draft and HR can just edit and repurpose and put it into our templates. Because it's a lot easier to train 1 or 2 people how to use our template for job descriptions rather than explaining to all the team leaders how to do a job description. But in the Virtual Freedom book, this dude, Chris Tucker, it's over upstairs. He gave me a template for job descriptions that was super helpful. Just fill in the blank.
There's a template?
Yeah, there's a template. It's on Notion, it's on the System Hub. But it makes it easier. Yeah. And I see that right there is one of our bottlenecks within the ministry. Is the reason why many people are idle is because they're not clear what their expectations are. And it's because I haven't been clear in communicating that. But I'll talk to someone one person and communicate, like expect, but they need to be written. It's kind of like as important as a getting started checklist versus a job description.
Yeah.
And then another one is understanding creating systems. Creating systems to the difference between documenting and teaching. Documenting as you do it or teaching someone how to do it, that's a wrong mindset. How in detail should we be with that?
Give them the Systems Made Easy video.
Yeah, I think that would be a powerful resource. But do you think that would be the only resource that we would share with them?
No.
Do you think we can use a system assign sheet somehow? I mean the board?
Possibly.
Because what we're doing with this Team Leader Bootcamp largely fits this. It says define, assign, that's the roles and responsibilities, roles chart. And then the knowledge worker, who has the knowledge in extracting that.
Whoa.
System for creating a system. And then this is about project management and systems management. So those are 2 different tools. And then it's talking about integrating and buying in and that people actually use the tools. So this is, again, with management. Knowing how to manage a team that's using it. And knowing the different personalities so that people are fit within their perfect skill set. And I didn't really go through those as much. Because we were like over here. It wasn't just in time.
Define and assign.
Doesn't that make sense? That's finding someone who has the results that we want and find out what they did and do that.
Yeah.
Information products. So in other words too, some people like quote cards, for instance. If someone wanted to build a team on quote cards, they don't know how to do that. They should go find like Peng Jun, his course on content multiplying course, like on creating quote cards and knowing what to do and how to put that together. And learn, like a lot of what we do is because, like with the quote cards, we learned from Peng Jun's process, Brendan Burchard's process, and what's his face? Nicholas, the content machine. He has a whole course called the content machine. That's where we got the word from. Oh, and then Gary Vaynerchuk. Those four. But just like finding those people have the result as far as quote cards go, and seeing their process, and then just doing that. So one thing I did not cover in developing a team was systems or onboarding new team members, and that is a bottleneck that we're facing. There's technicians that are coming on the team, but they're not being onboarded by the team leaders.
Could we have different resources, like, you know, showing people how to do that? Or like different resources, like systems? Or like that we already have, courses that we already have, showing how to do that?
How to do what? The onboarding process?
Yeah.
So are you suggesting not covering onboarding in this?
I definitely say that's definitely a part of it.
But are you suggesting like do like a high level overview of onboarding and then like have a resource for teaching people how to onboard others? It goes in more detail?
Yeah.
It's like those upsells, side sells, down sells.
Diagonal cells.
Yeah, the parallel cells. No, but when I was looking through this, like when we look at all the courses and things that we can go into more detail on, like,
We can make courses for our whole life.
wow, I really like courses that consider life changing for people.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool? Because we're testing, and then with a communication challenge, we can do like, imagine if at the Direction from God program, Carmen did a section on the communication challenge. Not the challenge, but like a communication series, sharing his testimony, but in the terms of like intentional devotions, document your devotions, share your devotions. Instead of me telling his story, he would share for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something, and just share his story about going through that experience. Like how much social proof and belief would that bring for a whole audience if people are overcoming satanic shyness? That'd be pretty cool. But this is all just stuff that's all on our Netflix. And then at the website, at the event, we can invite them to participate, to sign up for the Netflix subscription thing that we got going on. That could be our upsell for the event.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Back to our topic.
I'm looking at these titles. Biblical goal setting is great for team leaders. Daily account book is great for team leaders. Identifying like Steph in a name is great for team leaders. Spiritual gifts discovery.
It's just everything that helps with their spiritual life and their physical life, like physical development, like the path of development.
It's like leadership is everything.
Yeah, it is. I believe leadership is true education. That's why it's like, and leadership is like, sums up God's purpose for our creation. Because God is a leader and his character is leadership. So, do you think, as a team leader, we should have a little nugget in there that talks about just-in-time versus just-in-case learning?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, because that's nowhere on my notes.
Yeah.
Because if we're giving out all these references, we don't want them to have information overwhelm. They have to choose.
Definitely.
Just give them a whole bunch of information and they're like,
Well,
you gotta choose what you want because you're gonna be overwhelmed if you don't.
yeah, you got options here.
I'm already overwhelmed. We really have to make their path so simple and clear while letting them know gently that they can do this. Because they're like, in persuasion, it creates this desire, like, I need this now, and an urgency and scarcity and persuasion, like, I'm fully persuaded this is the solution to my problem, I need it now.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's how every preacher is. Like, when preachers talk about their topic, like, this is what you need to be studying right now. So, like, when we were leaving from the camp meeting, I'm sure all of us have, like, shifted our focus and priority, and we've been more persuaded to study something different simply because of the total
I stopped.
immersion.
Yeah.
You stopped what?
Studying something that I was studying, and I'm like, just went to something else.
Oh yeah, because of their persuasion?
Yeah.
That's the power of total immersion. And it's just the law of focus, because we were beholding something different, it influences our mind. It's an interesting thing. So as people are going through this course, we have to be intentional in knowing that we're directing their attention and helping them to go in the next step. So, oh, I guess it is. Did you put that just in case learning on there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, how'd that get there?
Whoa.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess developing and deciding their communication style. So that's also with like team.
What are the different communication styles?
Well,
I like styles.
styles. I don't exactly know what I meant by that, but when I look at my notes, I'm talking about like cascading communication within your team, and then understanding where things work with the org chart, and also messenger group chat. So that's a tool that people can use. Work on projects together, I guess, on your project management tool. So using the comment section on their project management, and then the communication challenge will help people to grow and learn and develop that. And team meetings. Conducting team meetings is a whole training that people can get to understand, like, this is you need some team meetings to make some things flow, but not just like fluff. Like, man, I've sat on some church board meetings that have been for like 5 hours and we really didn't get much done. We just talked about a lot of stuff.
Love.
Yeah, we talked for a while. But also having a strategic plan. Like, you know how we have our annual goal?
Yes.
Team leaders need to have like a weekly, monthly, quarterly goal for their team. Like, they should have a plan in an exit strategy. If their reason for developing a team is to become independent of them, that needs to be communicated to the team. That needs to be like understood, and like you have to have a plan for your exit and training a replacement. If your purpose of your forming a team is to become an extension of you, because that's what you love doing and you just want to leverage and do that better with people, or different portions you don't like as much, but you love what you do, then that needs to be clearly defined, probably in the beginning, because you're beginning with the end in mind. And so that's part of the strategic plan. Like, what does that look like going forward? And the visions, mission, and values. Like, that type of communicating that through the organization. That's guarding the culture. I learned from Craig Rochelle that guarding a culture is one of the most important things that a leader can do. And I didn't understand what he meant by that. You know what creates culture?
No. Okay. What creates culture? Values.
Yes! How'd you know that?
I listen to his stuff sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. That's good. Values create culture. So, by us teaching our values, like a little... You can't go into too much depth on that. You wouldn't want to, but at least communicating the value of having the intentional values. Like at the Army of Youth, like stepping out of our comfort zone, communication, evangelism, like leadership development. Like these type of things are things that create our culture and our environment. It's like a culture, I learned, is like the emotional state of an organization. It's the atmosphere. And people who don't fit, they will leave or create a whole bunch of havoc in the organization. So the more of the team leaders who are intentional about guarding that culture, it can help. But they're only going to do that if that's part of our system for developing team leaders. So we're making some serious decisions right now. what we decide today is going to determine like how we grow and what we do tomorrow. Can you go for a walk?
Me?
Yeah.
I think some money out like
You what?
I'm just busy.
No, it's not going to come.
Okay.
I know you're busy.
Yeah, I mean, that would be good.
Sounds good. So does that answer your communication styles?
Yeah. It doesn't sound like styles, but
I know it doesn't sound like styles. I don't know why I put the word style. But I was just thinking, like, what are the tools that they would need to succeed? So, hearing these, what would be the, I guess, the order? Like, how much of the 1.0 training do we want to keep, and how much of this do we want to integrate or use?
let's see. All things be done decently and in order. So what's the order?
Yeah. What is the order? Identify the ultimate results.
Develop the dream. Mr. Freedom. Today's and tomorrow's org chart. Set clear expectations. Create systems. Onboarding routines. I think all this is in a good order as it is. Except for just in case versus just in time learning. Where would that go?
Where would that go? Is that after understanding your source of overwhelm? Maybe we could do it like, once you understand that the reason why you're so overwhelmed and overburdened, don't have time and more unchecked boxes, is because you need to leverage. And if you're going to leverage, you're going to build a team. If you're going to be a team leader, you're going to have to learn some new skills. And you're going to have to develop, you have to have a plan for growth. You need to learn just in time, not just in case. So the way that you learn moving forward here is going to determine your success or failure in your team leadership growth. You think that would be a good segue? Oh, and we can tell them. And then at that point, we can pre-sell them, because we got to sell them at every stage of the course to ascend and keep going and not quit. And we can tell them, this Team Leader Bootcamp was designed for you to learn and go through just in time. The steps I give you are just in time. Wow, that's deep.
That's just in time.
Yeah. So it persuades them further to keep going. And one thing I learned from Dan Henry is that we have to sell them in the titles. We have to persuade them. Like, we have to use copywriting in the titles to watch the video to keep going. We still need to have hook story offer.
Every time.
Yeah, every video. Jump Cut didn't do that.
They didn't.
Nope.
Nope.
Their title was like understand your custom avatar framework or something like that. Alright, so those are good. If those are, but that's 11 steps.
You want 12?
No. Russell Brunson.
Went from 7 to 11.
Russell says, what does he say?
Yeah, what does he say? I mean, I've heard do what Russell says, but what does he say?
It's so funny. Listen to his 2 Comic Club live, you'll hear. I'm on day 2. It's been powerful. What was I saying? He says a 6-week course is usually good. If it's like 4 weeks, it's not long enough. If it's like 9, 10, 12 weeks, then people start to fall off and get tired. Yeah. But he says that like 6 weeks seems to be like the sweet spot. If you create a course that can be done in 6 weeks, people feel comfortable and good with that. I was like, I thought that was interesting. It's almost 66 days. Not quite, but almost. Is that like 45 days?
Hey, like the 66-day challenge.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's 2 months. This is like a month and a half.
This is 6 weeks?
6 weeks, 45
There's
days.
7 days. No, that's 42 days.
Oh. 42 days.
42? Yeah, because 7 times 7 is 49. Yeah.
Okay. I like monthly because like I think in months.
Yeah, it's easier. I don't think in weeks. Like
I definitely don't think in 6 weeks.
Yeah, when someone tells me, well, actually, like, I think in months until it's like 12 months. I don't think in like 13 months and 14 months. And once it becomes past that, it's like, yeah, it's years. It's like when someone says, my baby is 26 months, and I'm like,
I know, that's what I'm thinking too.
Okay,
what? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I gotta do some math track. So, if this is the training that we would do for folk, then I suppose the next step would be to try to like maybe create a copy or a compelling headline or something, or actually let's ask this question. How long of a training do we want to have for each of these? How long of videos do we want to have?
How long videos?
Well, there's questions to decide that's based on, like, we need to figure, length of the course. We gotta figure length of the videos, number of, what just happened? What? Number of worksheets. Number of videos. You know, honestly, I don't like, number of videos in each lesson. I don't like courses that only have 3-minute videos.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have to keep clicking the next one and keep playing. Mom doesn't like courses that you can't just continuously listen to the whole course without ever without ever needing to hit play again. Which I don't know about that, but personally, I don't like courses that don't give me an assignment and clear actual steps that I need to do afterwards.
Yeah.
After each concept. Which is basically what we do in the live cast, which is teaching point, example, and then actual steps.
Yeah.
It's hook, story, offer. So, yeah, part of the question is how many tools, resources, worksheets do we want to give them? We already have some of them already designed. Other ones we would kind of have to design. Personally, I like longer videos in courses, but I know that I am the
exception, not the rule.
Exactly.
I'm not
You like long videos?
Yeah, I like long videos because I can listen and go do something. I don't have to keep hitting play.
Speaking of that, I need to give me some things.
Oh, the things?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could. Some headphones.
Yeah. These wired ones keep popping out on my phone.
Pop
Yeah, right.
goes the weasel.
Pop goes the wired phone.
There must be something in the phone.
Maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
What do you think about that?
Thinking, yeah.
Yeah, 20 minutes?
Because 18 minutes is for a good presentation.
Oh, you think maybe we should try to go TED Talk on people and
Go
aim for
TED Talk.
18 minutes?
Now, see, does that apply to every kind of thing, every kind of talk?
In their view, yes. They have extremely strong views and opinions on 18 minutes. It's intense.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And they think 3 is really good.
I think so too.
I think so too. But like their affinity for the number 3 makes me question. It makes me think that's where we get all these 6s from.
What do you mean?
Because if they're like 3 steps per video or per part, then if you have 2 parts, then you got 6 steps. And that's why we get all these 6 faculties in line and 6 basic human needs and 6, all these 6s. That's one thing that I keep finding with a lot of these frameworks and trainings. It's like there's always 6 steps. I'm like, why is there 6? I
Yeah.
like 7. But lights, camera, action, ready, set, go. When your marks get set, go. Ready, aim, fire. Stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
It's always these 3s.
A, B, C.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Ready or not.
Here I come. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's 3 and then another
Here
3.
I come.
Here am I. Lord, send me. No, I think we're going too far now. Yeah, and I'll be honest, 18 minutes is hard for me to do. What do you think about having a worksheet at the end of every video?
I was gonna say that let's shoot for 1 worksheet at least.
At least you think 2 or 3 would be appropriate if it fits the context of the video?
Yeah.
That sounds good. I like that. So what about number of videos in each lesson?
Number of videos.
Because the way we have it now is we have 7 lessons, 7 videos.
Kinda. We got 14 videos.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the 2. Yeah, you're right.
Or wait. No, the introduction has 2 videos too.
You're right about that.
So that's 16 videos.
16 videos. So
Plus the welcome. Oh man, there's 17.
But some courses are there's 12 lessons and each lesson has 5 to 10 videos. It's kind of like, how much detail do you do?
Yeah.
Because when you look at and it goes back to the question of higher level, lower level, because in each of these things we're teaching frameworks. We're giving people frameworks that they can grasp, but every framework can be taught in a 3-day event.
Yeah.
Even a framework for making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And he even broke down how you could do an entire 3-day event. I saw the vision. I could see how we could make PB&Js for 3 days.
PB&Js for days.
PB&J for days! Especially with Meji.
Yeah.
She would love an event like that. And we can get all Tina's like family over, and we can have like a canning session for making jam or jelly.
Yeah.
And making some bread together. And just we could spend all this quality time with the people we like being around. It'd be a fun thing. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyways. Wait. Anyway.
Anyways isn't a word?
No.
Anyway. Every day I pray. Define the clear outcomes. Length of the course. Okay, this is good. So the number. Oh, we didn't cover the number of each videos in the lesson. Should it just be until we're whatever it takes?
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Okay, and we can cross that bridge when we get there, if it's too much. So we got the length of the course.
Man,
What?
paving the road as we go. Like, I don't know. That illustration kind of doesn't work in my mind
Why?
because road takes a long time to. It takes a while to pave,
It does.
and then it needs to dry.
And driving is a fast action.
Yeah,
It doesn't work.
it's hard to imagine.
It is hard to imagine. You can only do it like in a cartoon because it's not reality.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are doing. But you can jump out of the nest and learn how to fly before you hit. That's it. That happens in nature.
Yeah.
I think some birds are just like mind-boggling how these parents are just like, give them the boot. Boom! You're gonna have to fly. They'll figure it out.
The birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can get out of the nest and learn to fly. Not face the consequences.
But humans become empty nesters reluctantly.
It's true.
So the steps need to be okay, so here's what I think we should do then. What if we create some massive, like under curriculum, what if we take all of the information or concepts above or whatever and put them all under a one of these core categories?
Hey, you already have just in time
Where?
under curriculum.
Oh, I do.
Curriculo.
Curriculum.
Curriculo.
That's probably what we could do. Does it make sense, Tina? Oh, you're about to head outside?
I feel like I need to do something different.
You can do something different.
Go outside or something.
That's what I mean. I knew you were headed out there.
Why?
Why?
Never mind. Alright, I'm gonna do that.
So I got another question, Carmen.
Yes.
As far as our worksheets go, so right here, what we've accomplished is I think we figured out how in depth we will go with the length and the videos and stuff. We figured that out. We create an overview system, which is that list that we just talked about, and we define the clear outcome. And here are these concepts. So we got watchwords and frameworks and stuff. There's two ways we can go about this. We can organize, like for instance, we have a worksheet on identifying life's definite name.
Identifying life's definite name. Yeah.
So we can create a framework for identifying your team's definite name.
name. Oh.
And we might be able to draw remix some similar questions. But it wouldn't be as detailed as that life thing. So that would require some person to remix and create that. Well, that needs to be connected, like where we are in the curriculum and the training, when we're talking about, like, I guess, like identifying exactly what you want in life or what's your team. I forgot what the word was called. Remember that step? Identify the ultimate result.
It's raining.
Huh?
It's making it rain.
Let's make it rain? Are you saying it's raining outside?
No.
Oh.
It is.
Oh, okay. So what I'm saying is, like, we can put that as a checkbox with someone's name or someone to, like, a to delegate list. Put that somewhere on Notion, or we can keep that somewhere by, like, where we're categorizing everything by these 10 topics that we just covered, the 10 topics. And or we can have them both. What would you recommend?
Organize concepts by team or concept?
Concepts,
both.
frameworks, worksheets. Think we should do it by both?
Yeah.
So we'll just have it on there twice. Okay. So we got a lot done. The thing that now needs to be done is take all of these concepts and put them in, group them together. Do you think we should use a checkbox with these concepts and put them all in a checkbox, or should we use headers? Headers seem like they clutter up this page and make them longer.
You said checkboxes, did you mean toggles?
Just now?
Yeah.
Yeah, toggles. Should we use toggles or headers?
Let's use toggles.
Okay, we can do that. That sounds good.
Toggle.
So we could use this. I guess I'll put it at the very top, and we can use that as the toggles that we use. And we'll just fit everything under one of these 10. But is a focus funnel really? Oh man.
Focus funnel? Yeah, I don't think that would take a whole lesson.
No, I don't think so. So yeah, and the org chart is like under number 3. Maybe we should downsize this thing. It's like clear expectations.
Put the focus funnel under the list of freedom. There we go. You still gonna record this?
Yeah, it's okay. We can record this.
Okay. Okay, man.
You think we should record it on the desktop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Push him over.
All over here. Come on, we got so much done. This has been overwhelming me for a few days. It's been on my mind. I really believe this is the one thing that I could do, such that by doing would make the greatest impact. Make everything else easier and necessary. Because we're teaching people how to maximize resources.
these expectations under job onboarding. Bam, we got 7 steps again.
Oh, that's good. I'm wondering if the job description, I think the job description probably goes better with developing the dream, or step 3, as part of that work chart type stuff.
That makes sense.
This is good. Oh, the 3 lists of freedom, though. That's probably more of like a step 3. And the dream comes kind of like as a result. Or actually does it? Which one do you think goes first, 3 or 4?
Develop a dream.
Well, I actually don't know what step 4 is talking about, other than I understand the org chart, I get that, but that kind of comes from having clarity as far as the roles that need to be accomplished.
Yeah. Sounds like developing a vision.
Yeah, it is. I see dream and vision are synonymous. So there's 2 ways to look at it. Greater vision and clarity can come from the 3 lists of freedom by understanding what roles that you got to stop doing.
Yeah.
And it almost seems like if the 3 lists of freedom is done in the right way, then it could show you, it could be developing a dream too.
I agree.
So maybe those are the same steps. We don't really have anything about yeah, there you go. Creating culture and community, that type of stuff. Seems like recruiting and onboarding are a little different, but we can group them together in one lesson. Things are looking better, huh?
Yeah.
I like this. Or maybe I shouldn't do that yet. Yeah, that's so true.
What's true?
Just what you wrote about committing to the journey and getting out of your comfort zone.
Do you think faithfulness in the which is least should go there or somewhere else?
Yeah, I think it's good with just in time. I think faithfulness in that which is least is very core with just in time learning. And you know what's really cool too? We can interject, you're obviously doing it, but we can interject all of our values within the whole course.
Yeah.
And I believe we should inject all of our values in every course we create. Because that's what makes us who we are. Just reinforcing our values through all of our content, training systems, etc. Because really what we're doing right now, we're creating a system. This is system champion type stuff.
Champignon.
Oh, it's connected. I think courses are awesome. It's a system. And I look at, these onboarding getting started checklists as courses too. But so do you think we should start turning these into turning them into those thingamajigs? Toggles?
Oh yeah, turning these into toggles. Button.
Number 7. Number 6. What? Number 2. I'll do number 4. I'll do number 2. Oh wait, that's huge.
That's huge.
Oops. Haha. Did that work? No.
Huh?
I'm gonna hit Control Z to all my stuff. There we go. Where did all those come from?
What?
Oh, you must have added them. The 1 through 3. Under the 3 lists of freedom.
Yeah, I think I did. Oh, it's cool. 1. There we go. Three lists of freedom is number 3. Fitting.
Yeah. Mine isn't a toggle list. My number 1.
What?
Oh well. It is now. Okay, cool. So now we just want to put everything else under one of these things. That's good. Hey, this is easy.
It's easy?
Yeah. Now we got the easy part. Just putting everything under one of those.
Every what?
We have 7. We have 7 options. We just got to drag and drop it and slop it on there. Like I'm going through what are the concepts of developing a team.
Doing less better.
That's understanding the source of our overwhelm. Delegation, I don't know where that is.
Delegation?
Yeah.
Eliminate, automate, delegate. Oh, I think that's under the 3 lists. Yeah.
Should we have a lesson on delegation? Should we have a lesson on recruiting?
Oh, I don't think we do.
Where do we put the 7 principles of community building?
Onboarding, number 6.
Oh, thank you. What about the 6 basic human needs?
I put them there too.
Oh, because of the culture and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. And it's empty. Oh, mine is empty now. Okay, cool. So we could delete that. Hey, that's satisfying. Wow, that's cool. What training do we already have on this subject? Well, we do have the personal curriculum. Oh, I love that plan for personal growth. That was encouraging. We don't have one on project management, do we?
Project management. Oh no, we don't. No, we do.
You think that'd go under communication? Okay.
For now.
Yeah, for now. I think it's good because we're basically creating other sloppy lists. We're going to have to cut some things out or use them elsewhere. That's good.
Power of team. Actually, I don't need to do that.
This is really helpful.
Uh-oh. Oh, okay, good. I'm so thankful we have the communication challenge.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about communication, we don't have to like go through it too much detail here. We can just share some core concepts and just be like, look, if communication is a struggle, go check out the communication challenge.
Check it out. Who's our audience? Oh wait, we covered that. Did we?
Mm-hmm. We did. And I was going through what skills do people need to have in order to form a strong team. Gotta have communication, delegation, forming habits, leading team meetings, discerning people's gifts. This seems kind of cool. People like checklists.
Yeah, I like checklists.
You think something like this kind of like seems helpful for people to know what skills they should develop? Or do you think this is like enough? Should we incorporate this tool?
5 levels?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be nice.
Because I really think that this kind of gives a roadmap. Like, this is really comprehensive.
Yeah.
And this has helped me a lot for a long time. It really shows us what step we're at. By any chance, did we create a Google form out of this?
That thing, yeah, hold it up for the camera. Here we go. I think that I put that on Notion.
Yes, you did create a Notion version of it.
Oh wait, I gotta change the focus. I can put autofocus. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go.
Wow, look at that. So there's a self-assessment test for 5 levels of leadership.
It just puts a square there for some reason.
Yeah, because it's a, yeah, I don't know. The autofocus is interesting.
Wait, that's what that is.
So we probably don't need that there for them. Where would discerning people's gifts and talents, what category would that fall under?
Discerning people's gifts and talents. Onboarding.
Onboarding?
I think so.
Okay.
I do believe.
What's that for? You said managing projects. Oh, do you see any value in having a list of skills like the way that it is up there? Of the sloppy list? It's towards the very bottom of the sloppy list. It might be the last one. Yeah.
Good to have a list of skills.
think we need to. Well,
I see one use for something like this, and doesn't mean it's enough to like warrant to keep it, but
yeah.
it could be helpful suggestions for their personal curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. So I was thinking that something like this might not be good for someone who's just starting out,
Yeah.
unless you put it at the end of the course and be like, hey, this is your roadmap. These are the skills that if you want to be an even better team leader, you want to develop these.
That's deep. And you know what we can do? We can send them a list of our recommendations for other courses we have. Wow. That'd be pretty neat. Okay. I like that. I like it. Cool.
Cool, praise the Lord. Upload this video to YouTube.
I think it's just on Facebook and Instagram.
Parting words.
Hey, welcome back.
Whoa.
You got roasted.
You got roasted?
Yeah.
By the
It's hot out
sun?
there.
Oh boy. Alright, what about what motivates people to participate? What, where do we teach that at?
Communication.
Or
Are you also
delegation?
recording?
Yeah.
Oh. I'll be quiet.
Communication. Growth impacts.
Delegate.
Part of transformation. Oh, and by the way, I put a list of actual steps to do at the bottom. It's a header, or towards the bottom, and it has that video that you were highlighting just now. So whenever I see something we need to do, I just drag it down there.
Okay. Oh, you did that video.
Yeah. I did the video and I got really good responses from it. People seem to really enjoy it. Oh, I did that video. Yeah, I did do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead and check it.
Well, yeah. Do you think we should create a Google Doc of these or no? Okay, let me just ask a different question. How do you think we should get the feedback from people? You think we should do it through Messenger? Should we do it through the course comment section that we haven't quite figured out how to get to work? Or try to do one-on-one phone calls where I just like talk to everybody and have these conversations one at a time.
No.
I learned a lot through that, but it is hard to scale.
Yeah.
Should we like gather everybody together in this challenge, like on a schedule, and just be like, hey everybody, let's get together during, kind of like we would at a Pioneer session, but probably not at the same time. Sometime in the morning, be like, hey, let's all do this together and let's discuss, get feedback, and share. Or you think a Google form and then do that, or what would be a good way to get the feedback and answer to these questions?
Good way to get the feedback. Well, yeah, as we're doing the challenge, we can have, some times to get together. I think that would be good. And then maybe like for now, a Google form until we can figure out like a comment, how to get those comment sections working.
Okay. Should we put the Google form in some prominent location on the course and just let them know that they could like reuse this as many times as they need to give more feedback?
Yeah, where would a prominent place be though?
Probably on the welcome, right by the welcome video where I asked them for feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, every time they click on the course, they get sent to the welcome.
Yeah. And perhaps another thing we should include in that Google form is something like let them know that they could submit it as many times as they want, and they don't have to answer every question. That would be the most helpful place to get that.
Yep.
I mean, that would actually really be nice to have on what's it called? On
A Google form.
on the Direction from God program too, from our students.
Feedback form?
Yeah, feedback form. Hey, do you think there's a way we could use the same feedback form and just ask them like, what course are you taking? And that way it's like one form, one list, one response. So like, it's like I could read that and understand more feedback, because I really believe with creating frameworks, the feedback and listening to our audience and students is one of the most valuable things we can do to add value to them, to gain more experience as teachers and trainers, because we're having real life interactions with them. Because we can do what we think is good, present it, and without listening, we don't know if it actually worked or not.
Yeah.
It's just like with the content. There's a quality and quantity only as we get feedback and change. We could probably use the same form. What if we put the same form in every course?
Every course.
Every course.
That's possible.
We just ask them what course they're taking.
What course are you taking, mate?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Find out what all their problems are.
We'll see you guys this evening.
Okay.
This evening.
Yeah, at prayer meeting.
Oh, really?
Okay.
You're gonna be gone until prayer meeting, Tina?
Yeah.
No, I won't.
No, Tina won't. No.
Okay.
She'll be right back.
I'll see you this evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow, everyone's gone. Or not everyone.
I'm here, comrade. Well, what did we just say?
This is. What course are you taking?
Oh yeah.
valuable feedback. It's going to be extremely helpful.
Yeah. That's one thing I wanted to ask you about with the Notion template thing. So we have a worksheet database, and Sister Susie is putting together like a framework photo database, like what we've been talking about it. But if she's identifying frameworks within the ministry, that's like an inventory, really. We have, like for instance, I think I'm going to write this. We have worksheet database, which I love. Framework. For framework photos, but it's basically what are our framework database. And I really want, imagine if we had one location on Notion that has an inventory of all the frameworks that we've tested, created, or whatever for people. That'd be pretty cool. Like archaic synonyms. Like, I think there's some frameworks that we're gonna forget if we don't have a database for them. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then Notion templates. And then Google Doc worksheets. Well, we got System Hub. I'm so glad you're here. This has been perplexing my mind for a few days. How do you think we consolidate or maintain this so that have you ever seen the code card database?
I've seen it.
Okay, so you know what it looks like.
Yeah, kind of.
It's basically a spreadsheet.
Okay.
So here's my challenge, and I'm wondering, like, a big picture, how can we keep track of these? We got the System Hub. We've got I don't know if it makes a difference. It's another thing about systems and checklists that I want to talk to you about. What do you think we should do, Kamran? Do you understand what my question is, or what I'm asking you?
No, not quite. What?
Okay, so we got worksheets. We got a worksheet database.
Yes.
And I think that has been really helpful.
Yes.
For working with Victoria. It was super helpful. We kind of use this database kind of like a project board for the database, worksheet creation.
Yes.
So now Angela's coming on board, and she's wanting to help with creating the worksheet. The framework photos is something that's Susie. So Susie's responsibility in the ministry that she loves the most, like she has different things, but the thing she enjoys the most is taking these frameworks and making photos out of them
Oh,
and
no.
posting on social media. And the reason why we do that is for hooks. Hook. We're testing what our audience responds to. So the frameworks that they really like, those are the ones that we reuse and we teach in our live casts and our course and our live events, destination events and stuff like that. So that's what she's doing. And she's working on a team in the Team Leader Bootcamp to create a team of people like this. So she is trying to figure out how can she keep track of all the frameworks that are being posted. And when Tina's going through the slides, what I did last month was I took pictures of all of the frameworks that are within the speaker notes or on the slides or wherever. That way Susie can see bigger view, because before the only thing she saw as a framework was the 4 teaching points.
Oh, I was gonna say actionable steps, but yeah.
She didn't even see the actual steps as a framework.
Oh.
But then I took a picture of those. So they are frameworks, you're right. So every actionable step, in theory, what we want to do beginning with the end in mind is, like we're saying, will become a worksheet, because every teaching point will become a video lesson for a future course on the topic. So with that being said, she wants to create a database for keeping track of all the frameworks in the ministry. And I'm like, this is great. Because you know how we have the epiphany, or we have like the stories inventory for the direction from God? Well, that's a database for them. And what I'm realizing too is that Russell, I was just listening to his thing, and Russell has a database for all of his hooks. He has a hook database of everything he uses to catch people's attention. I was like, interesting. That was intriguing. But I'm not ready to create that yet. But so they use frameworks, photos, and the Quote Card database basically takes all of the quotables within the ministry, takes from the content, and identifies quotables. What Susie and her team are going to be doing is from our videos and resources, worksheets, whatever, she's going to just scour through all of our content, and she's going to be extracting frameworks. How do we keep track of all those frameworks?
How do we keep track of them all?
How do we keep track of all the, like a database of frameworks?
With the database.
But check this out.
But
The worksheet's a framework, a system. The system hub, the system and framework are the same word. They're just the same thing.
yes,
So the system hub is literally a database of frameworks.
it's a framework hub.
It's a framework hub. So what we have
It's a lot of stuff.
is a lot of frameworks and systems. System is everything. But that's why the Life's Definite Aim is in the system hub currently.
Yes.
The goal setting framework is on the system hub. And there's a lot of, and I don't know if that's really the best place to put them. So what I've talked to you about is creating, like, those are essentially Notion worksheets.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, like, what if we had a database for the Notion stuff that we could use for keeping track of all of our Notion-based templates? And I think Notion templates are so much more helpful than Google Doc templates.
Oh yes.
And I'm okay with urging our community to go more into that direction. And I know a lot of course creators give people options. Like, some people have a Trello board, some have a Asana board, some have a Google spreadsheet, and I don't know if I don't think I want to do all that, because it takes a lot of work replicating that stuff. But I know with the Traffic Secrets and Expert Secrets, Russell Brunson has a PDF version, and he has a Google spreadsheet version. He has a PowerPoint, I think it's Keynote, and then he has like a Google Slides version, and he gives people those options for their slides and stuff. So he gives some variations, so I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting.
Here at the Army of Youth,
You got options.
you got options.
So my
That's
question,
where we're going. Yes.
yeah, my question is, we got a lot of stuff, we need to organize it. You're an organizer. How do we do it so that we don't have a whole bunch of databases, and how do we do it so we're not repeating a bunch of the same stuff over and over?
That's a good question.
So like Spirit Prophecy says, everything has its place and everything in its place. How do we file away these databases? Because in my mind, worksheet is the same as a framework. Regardless, like if there's a photo that could be in a page on Notion. But it could all be, this could be the same database. This could be the same all of these. Well, I don't, maybe that one, I don't know about that one. But these three could definitely be the same database.
How would the framework photos be the same database?
Because these are frameworks. They're identifying like, what this does is basically takes a worksheet, turns it into
I think.
a photo.
Yeah.
So they're just connected photos with the worksheet.
I see.
And in the future, I think a next step from here, like if we're talking about like a step of like growth, like entry level position to intermediate to advanced to team leader type thing, a next step from creating framework photos as a graphic designer is creating infographics that are visual aids with like that, like these, like the focus funnel and the systemology stages and stuff. This thing, yeah, like this focus funnel. My head. Oh, it unplugged. Well, at least they got it. They got it frozen there.
Yeah.
It probably needs to be reset on there. And I'm gonna check this color. It's green. Green, go. It's ready to go. Do you need to zoom in?
Oh, no, that's as far as it zooms.
Okay, because we got one of those.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's good enough. So, I think infographics like this is a framework. Because before, like what Susie would do, she'd be like, number 1, eliminate. Number 2, automate. Number 3, delegate. Number 4, procrastinate on purpose. Number 5, concentrate. That's what her photo would be. But then, the next step would be infographics like that. Visual Age. Creating infographics out of frameworks. But the reason why I say that they're connected is because the more that people I don't want people to compartmentalize the ministry and what they're doing. I want them to see how what they do is interdependent upon the big picture and other teams and people that are working. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like even though you're the system champion, what you do is so connected with creating frameworks with the ministry and how we do things. That's why we're talking about this now. Because the skills are transferable and they're connected. So I want people to see how they work together with each other. And I'm thinking too, like as far as our teachings go, like our frameworks for educating and direction God stuff, and courses or course frameworks, they probably shouldn't go in the System Hub. What do you think?
Course framework? Oh, yeah, no.
Especially because when we share them, whoever we share with currently to the System Hub, they get access to all our systems. I don't think they need all that right now.
Yeah.
So then we would need to create a System Hub for frameworks, and perhaps all of them could be together.
System Hub for frameworks. That sounds cool.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
What do you think about it though? Like how would that look like on Notion? Like how would we be able to do that? Susie wants to do it and she's organized. She's got a gift in that area. Maybe we would have to pull up the worksheet database and
Yeah, I want to take a closer look at those databases first.
Hey, did the bell ring?
okay, I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear you either.
It's 2:04.
Oh.
I think she probably just forgot because Kathy's not here. Because I thought it was ready.
Did the bell ring? No. Okay. So it's not ready. Just said it did.
Does she know what the time is?
She does. Oh. Alright, well, we can close here with a word of prayer. Taking a closer look, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You want to pray for us?
Okay. Okay. Father in heaven, Lord, we thank you for this time we had together to get some clarity and move forward with the team leader training curriculum. And we just thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this work and helping people to move forward in their lives and their walks with you and in ministry. And it's a blessing and it's a privilege. And Lord, we thank you thank you again for the opportunity, and Lord, help us to be faithful. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
I've mentioned my brother just.
Thank you for watching, and I hope that this will be a blessing to go through so that you can see kind of the process for creating the curriculum with a team.